Hello all, my name is Nicole again, and today I will be discussing the article Neuropsychological Functioning in Postpartum Depressed versus Non-Depressed Females and Non-Postpartum Controls. A brief overview is that this study researched the effects of postpartum depression and certain cognitive factors seen with females. Its primary research is to test and see if there is a link between postpartum depression and cognitive difficulties. It included a small number of females with and without postpartum depression, and it included a control team of healthy females with no depression factors. It measured their cognitive abilities like verbal fluency, verbal memory, measures of psychometer speed, memory to include attention and working memory, and executive functioning utilizing different cognitive assessments. In the end, the research found a link between postpartum depression and some cognitive difficulties. Let's discuss the analysis of research methodology and the independent and dependent variables. Now, the research methodology employed a mixed research method. It utilized data-driven information and considered human experiences throughout the research. The independent variables are the subjects with and without postpartum depression. The dependent variables are the potential cognitive difficulties. And the controlled variable is the female participants with no current history of childbirth and no signs of depression. Now, the study design included several different factors. The population selected was a group of 43 women, 21 females with postpartum depression that have just given birth, and 22 low to no scales of postpartum depression that have also just given birth. The controlled group consists of 24 healthy females with no postpartum. Participants were recruited from the gynecology department in Patrice, Greece University Hospital and were offered to participate in the research study. Participants were selected based off their new childbirth status and postpartum/non-postpartum depression. Their childbirth was within 30 to 58 days within the study, and their depression status was determined by a psychologist during regular clinical interviews and self-reported questionnaire measures. All participants were provided informed consent documentation before they were able to participate in the research. And the study was reviewed and had obtained approval through an ethics committee. Cognitive measures used include 4 different types of assessments: a verbal fluency test to test different phonological and semantic cues, the Ray auditory verbal learning test, a measure of verbal memory, the trail making test parts A and B, and rough 2 and 7 selective attention test to measure the psychomotor speed, working memory, attention memory, and executive functioning. There are different statistical analysis used to ensure all results come out equal. And the ANOVA test, t-test, Welt-Sat weight approximation, and the Veen test to ensure all analyses are within equal variances. And if unequal factors arise, there are approximations used to provide other factors. Furthermore, results suggest that postpartum women have cognitive difficulties in the initial Rayvold trials and performance on the TMT compared to non-postpartum. Fortunately, postpartum women have still had intact attention and executive functioning abilities with excellent psychomotor skills. These results show that some cognitive difficulties could be secondary to depression. Furthermore, some strengths and weaknesses of the studies include a strength being that it has a considerable advantage of this study is that no significant differences calculated within the different variables like age, education level, and the time lapse between labors and cognitive assessments or the thyroid status. All variables were closely associated, eliminating possible differences that could contribute to errors in the research. A weakness was that this was a small sample of participants within the study. Small sample sizes limit the validity and reliability of the research. As said, suggestions for how to improve the research or design or methodology include is to include a larger sample size, research the same study utilizing an American sample, or examine more neurological, psychological, and biological factors before and after pregnancy that may affect parental stress and contribute to postpartum depression to help aid in preventative measures. Thank you all for your time and your patience. These are my references. Have a good day.